You are not friends with men, and I'll tell you why. Men constantly have an ulterior motive. Because of the way the patriarchy is set up, they don't necessarily view women as people to be friends with. They are constantly objectifying and looking at women as if, can I date her? Can I sleep with her? Is she the one I want to marry? Those are three categories you go into. Taylor Swift said it. She said the only kind of girl they see is a one night or a wife. When in fact, you are not what you are to men. Okay. You are not what men see in you. You are a woman. You are the creator of life. You have your own hobbies. You have your own goals. You have things you want to do. But in the male brain, they are thinking, who is this girl to me? Right. And that's the difference between men and women. Women are not always looking at men like, who can he be for me? Which then in women creates empathy, sympathy, and all these other kinds of feelings that men don't necessarily have towards women. I've said it before. If you are ugly, men will not do a fucking thing for you because they do not feel empathy. Actually, empathy for men will kill you. So just some food for thought. Love you. Bye.
Woman, let me tell you that you're not even good enough for a one-night stand, let alone to be a wife. Women need to stop following love failures like Taylor Swift, whose songs are all about the pain caused by her own bad decisions. And like the other modern women we'll talk about today, they love pointing out red flags in men, but never look at their own. They want a husband without being wife material. Welcome to the wall. Let's get into it.
Girls, here are all the men you should be avoiding. Guys who are recently separated, guys who are recently divorced, guys who don't know what they're looking for, guys who are unemployed and have been for a while, guys who have any type of addiction, guys who simply are inconsistent, guys who are polyamorous, guys who mistreat you in any way, guys who emotionally abuse you, guys with anger and communication issues, guys who are way too busy for you, guys who tell you they love you, but do not prove it to you with facts. It's actually that simple. And if you're with a guy like the ones I described, get out. You deserve better.
In short, don't date men, because you just listed every pattern that men naturally show at some point, especially being busy. The only man who's not busy is an unemployed one. And if he's not unemployed, then he's busy out making his money. So, what kind of man do you even want? And by the way, it's not the same thing as cheating. No man wants to date a woman who's freshly separated, let alone divorced. Another thing, this word abuse. It's become a favorite nowadays because apparently everything is abuse. Even when it's just someone not putting up with disrespect, they already call it emotional abuse. These young women have had their brains washed by feminism, but the wall is going to set them straight. Because the wall doesn't forgive.
We need men control. Somebody needs to control men because women are not committing crime at the rates that men are, and men always just want to just brush over this subject. 98% of mass shootings, men. 99% of rapes, men. And 80% of violent crimes are committed by men. And yet when we say this, we're called sexist. This is not sexism. This is just the truth. And if you're not a man that commits violent crimes and you're not a man who supports other men that commit violent crimes, you shouldn't be upset about this statement. You should say, oh wow, those are real statistics. Somebody should probably do something about this. The sad part is, what do you do about it? I don't know what's going on with men and this crisis of what is going on. It's young men. It's old men, it's everybody in between. And of course, there is plenty of men that don't commit violent crimes. But if you are one of those men, what are you doing to hold the men accountable in your life that are? We need to bring back shame, and we need to start shaming these people. Because it's not normal for the men that don't commit crimes and the women to have to live in fear like this of other men who just can't control themselves.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
It's true that there's a real problem with violence perpetrated by men, but you're leaving out some important facts that contribute to it. First off, the feminization of men. When you make men emotional, they're more likely to express their frustrations violently, unlike a stoic man. Modern feminist rhetoric paints men as the enemy, especially white men or men who hold traditional values. They're labeled as violent, oppressive, even when they've never raised their voice. The problem isn't masculinity, it's the lack of it. And when an entire generation grows up hating the father, the leader, and the provider, there can't be balance, only chaos. But the most important factor is the absence of fathers. A study conducted across prisons nationwide showed that 57% of inmates came from fatherless homes. So who's choosing to remove fathers from the parenting equation? Who files 80% of divorces in this country? Or 90% when they have higher education? Women. This clearly shows how vital the father figure is, especially for boys, because a father at home rarely allows his son to end up as a criminal.
Men who seek out women for help, like financial assistance, free therapy, resources, have actually been shown in research to be predatory or highly likely that they are a narcissist. The sad truth is, women have been conditioned to be so much easier to manipulate into feeling bad, into seeing potential, into being kind and compassionate. And the men know this, especially the draining ones. They know this. They are looking for the givers. They are looking for women whose identity is built off of them being nice. Women who give and give and give and are too afraid to speak up for what they need, don't have healthy boundaries. So if you are dating and the man that you're with has no compunction, he doesn't even hesitate to ask you for money, to ask you for free labor, whatever that may be, that is a major freaking red flag. Run the other way.
Stop it. Get some help.
I just went down the rabbit hole of red pill content, and it's so crazy because the men who watch red pill content, they all have this same outlook where even if abuse is happening in the relationship, usually they're the abusers, right? That you have to stick around and you're taking the easy way out by getting a divorce. The easy way out. That is the easy way out. And, people today, they can't stick it out and be strong and, create a marriage that's strong. They can't get through the tough times. The thing they don't understand is this isn't tough times they're putting us through, a lot of these men. It's straight up abuse, okay? There is a difference between going through hard times in a marriage and going through abuse. There's a difference, but these guys who watch the red pill content, they don't understand that. They look at abuse as just going through hard times. No, you're being abusive. There is a huge difference. They don't get it. They don't get it.
Women have been conditioned to be easily manipulated. If you search manipulation on TikTok, you'll find hundreds of videos of women talking about how to deceive and manipulate men. And let's not even get started on financial support. Nowadays, the first thing most women ask for is that the man has money. So, who's really manipulating who? There's even an article about a woman who ate out for free for an entire year, going on dates with hundreds of men from dating apps. There are women who expect men to pay off their credit card debt, their rent, and buy them gifts when they've barely just met. There are women who keep men around as emotional support in the friend zone. This is exactly why the red pill was created, to wake men up to these manipulations, to help them realize that many women confuse abuse with boundaries, and that men are no longer willing to put up with disrespect disguised as empowerment.
Men do not do things for you because they love you. They do things for you because it is essentially a lubricant to get to the one thing that they want, and it's between your legs. A lot of you guys just don't seem to understand this. The male mind is very much honed in on that one thing. So when they do nice things for you, you're always thinking, oh, it's because he loves me so much. No, he might like you, but it's certainly not love. He does nice things for you. And again, this sounds really jaded, but it is just actually true, guys. I promise you this is true. They do these nice things for you and take time out of their day because ultimately it leads to the thing that they want, and that is your body. So stop giving it away so easy, okay? You need to be asking these men for things, period. Whether it's favors, whether it's that honey-do list, whether it's money. Guys, I promise you, they're going to do it. Now, here's where some of you guys go wrong. You get into the relationship after pretending to be the chill girl and that you want nothing from them. And then you ask for shit. If that relationship doesn't start out on the premise that this is what it's going to take to get in my pants, and I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3 dates, that's chump change, okay? If it's not like these are the items that you need to check off before there's even a chance, It's not gonna happen. If he knows you're a cheap date, he's gonna treat you as such, okay? I love you.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
And then they say men are the manipulative ones. She's laying out conditions just to sleep with someone. This woman belongs to the streets. And the worst part is she tries to pass herself off as a high-value woman, when in reality, she's just a high-priced one. You can tell she's not interested in the date. What she really wants is to see how much you're willing to spend just to be with her. And that other woman talking about financial assistance. Women like that are a cancer to any man with goals in life. Women like this don't help you grow. They're the ones who think a man should walk into their lives like an ATM without offering anything in return. The women who are truly living well didn't get there through manipulation. They built something. They stood by a man with purpose. They invested in something real. But they won't talk about that because it doesn't sell.
Just a reminder to all the women out there, and as a reminder to myself, honestly, at this point, withholding sex from a man is the most powerful thing you can do as the woman in the situation. You have the power, you have the control, you have the say. I feel like this isn't something that really is talked about enough with how important it is, especially when you're establishing a relationship with someone that you want the control over and the respect. You need to be withholding sex for a long time, as long as you can possibly wait. Because I'm telling y'all right now, no matter how much money the men are spending on you, no matter how many times they tell you they really like you, no matter how much effort they're putting into it, don't confuse their intensity and their passion as emotional availability or emotional stability. Don't confuse all of that shit, even like somewhat love bombing, even if it's not technically love bombing, even if they're doing all these things for you, you rather wait it out, because the reason why they're putting all this effort in, so they can see what they can get out of you. The longer you wait, the more either they're gonna keep doing it or they're gonna reveal their true intentions eventually. And you can usually tell what their true intentions are, even after like a month of withholding sex. You will be able to tell. This is also the best way to avoid being in a situationship and having it be really confusing, more confusing than it needs to be. Because once they have access to your body like that, they will just run with it. They will just feel like they can do whatever the fuck they want. So
Men don't value what comes easy, that's clear. But they also don't respect a woman who plays with other people's time. It's perfectly fine for a woman to save herself, to have self-respect, as long as she's serious about her intentions. But if you're dating multiple men at once, making each of them think they have a chance, just so you can keep getting free dinners, attention, or gifts, you're manipulating them. I've always understood that a woman doesn't owe you anything for a date, but I've seen women who pull this with several men. Chad gets 0 conditions to sleep with her, while the other guys get stuck in the friend zone, and she takes full advantage of everything they give. That's why men need to open their eyes. A woman who genuinely wants something serious won't waste your time. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Who do you think manipulates more, men or women? Why do you think there's so much violence among young men today? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.